So prior to joining Oncore and becoming a franchisee, I built up my career in the corporate world. So I first worked in banking for ANZ, and I worked in the marketing team there from essentially leaving university, and worked my way through there and moved into various leadership roles outside of marketing, and then transitioned to Air New Zealand. And my role there specifically was managing the frontline call centre. And this was actually over the COVID period, where even though the airline itself was grinding to a halt almost literally, the call centre was quite the opposite. It was going through the roof, and it was, at times highly stressful. So my job was managing those frontline staff and supporting them through that, at that time, very stressful time. So I learnt through working in the corporate world, particularly in those roles, managing call centres and also in marketing, the importance of customer focus and the importance of communicating and solving problems for people in an empathetic way. So although jumping into a business that might seem essentially like a building or a trade business may seem quite a large jump from managing a call centre, so many of those skills are transferable, and ultimately in a large majority of businesses, whether it's a building business or a reinstatement business like ours or any other business, customer focus, customer service, understanding what they want, understanding their expectations, and then trying to meet them consistently is critical skills. The other part of it, particularly in my job now, where we have a large volume of insurance reinstatement jobs, project management is critical. And probably 80 or 90% of my job, in addition to servicing our customers and managing my team, is project management. Understanding how to spin multiple plates at any given time, and hopefully not letting any of those plates fall and smash. So for somebody who is in it might be a desk-based job or any other job currently that isn't running their own business or isn't in the trades, if you have project management skills and experience, ideally marketing skills and a really good understanding of customer service and customer experience, those are directly transferable to running an Oncore franchise. And it's pretty much what I do now, even though the nature of the work is essentially construction as opposed to direct customer service at a call centre or at a bank. So really, I think a lot of people may get to a point where they're looking at considering an Oncore franchise and think, oh, I can't do that, I'm not a builder, I've got no experience, I don't know anything about building. And it is advantageous to have some degree of understanding of trades, but ultimately the most critical is having a really good understanding of managing projects, spinning a lot of plates at times, and most importantly, understanding customer expectations and what customers want. Because if you can do that, then actually, whether it's Oncore or anything else, you can run a successful business. And so when I went through the COVID process, like many people in the corporate world, it wasn't a particularly great experience. And this opportunity to join Oncore and become a part of the Oncore family, I thought was a really fantastic opportunity. I could see the real potential for what the business had on offer and the brand. So that's really ultimately why I joined Oncore. I just saw the opportunity and the potential to be my own boss in a way that I can manage my own time, but also hopefully financially do really well and possibly better than I was doing previously. From my experience, they really love it. So we position ourselves essentially as a one-stop shop for property managers, for insurance companies, and for private homeowners and property owners too. So people, generally speaking, love a one-stop shop because we take care of it all, project manage right through all of the sub-trades. So yeah, I really, and through the repeat business that I've got through my clients, we really have proven that the Oncore proposition works. So whether it's a property manager who manages a large portfolio of properties for property investors, or whether it's an insurance company or a loss adjusting firm who manages a large number of insurance repairs, if I can build a really good relationship with them, then work stems from that. So I've really found that becoming a one-stop shop and somebody who is relied upon in that world has brought me a lot of repeat business. So referrals and repeat business are really, really critical for my business, and the way that I manage that, so it's essentially my marketing strategy is to really focus on those influential decision makers, whether it's property managers or loss adjusters for insurance companies. That's where I've decided to focus my energy. So I believe that if I can really focus on providing brilliant service as much of the time as possible, it's hard to get it perfect every time, but if you've built up that really good relationship with those influential decision makers, they'll go back to you and use you time and time again. And the most critical part of that for me is communicating. It's a lot easier said than done. Everyone knows that communication is really important, but actually communicating effectively and well is what is important, not just communicating. And through the nature of what we do, things go wrong. We manage a lot of sub-trades on a lot of different jobs sometimes, and we know that on every single job there will be something that probably doesn't go quite to plan, whether it's big or little. So communicating upfront, quickly, effectively and transparently is really, really critical. And I found that, although I haven't nailed it every single time, taking that approach of really being transparent, quick, and trying my best to frame up potential risks on a job as well before the job even starts is a great way of positioning it with those people who I'm managing jobs for, so that when things don't necessarily go to plan, we can talk about it. It's not always a surprise, and we can work through that. And that has led to a lot of repeat business, and hopefully will continue to be a trusted supplier for a lot of these people. Sub-trades and building a team is can be a really challenging thing, getting a really great team around. And I don't think any builder has probably got it perfect. It's a constant evolving process, is finding your best team possible. And you win some, you lose some, but obviously you've got to move on very quickly. If you work with sub-trades who are fantastic, then awesome. The one way that I build my team really, really effectively, hopefully, and get quick responses and good work from people is to pay them immediately. So with my sub-trades, or with anyone, money talks, and that's the way that one of the ways I've built up a really strong team that will stick with me and do things at a very quick, rapid rate if required, is that they know if they're going to do the work, they're going to get paid and get paid quickly. And that's one of the really key things for us. And even if I'm not necessarily getting paid quickly for the job, I'll make sure that I pay my sub-trades really quickly for that very reason. So building the team is really, really critical. When I started off on my journey with Oncore, I knew that with our business model, employing a builder and then growing to more employed builders rather than contractors, it works for my business anyway, was really, really critical. So I took a bit of a gamble, I suppose, and very quickly moved to employing somebody, because I knew that if I had somebody employed, then the next day if a job came up, I could get somebody on site. I didn't have work come in the door on that day that I employed that builder necessarily on day one. Well, it wasn't quite day one, but in the first few weeks of going. But I knew if I had them, I could move quickly. So building a team is really critical, and you need to take some risks when you're building a team. Whenever you're running a business, whether it's a franchise like Oncore or otherwise, you need to be able to take some risks and invest, and then hope that that comes off, and put in the hard work to make sure that it does hopefully come off. So that's been my approach to building a team, is actually just not looking at the cost associated. Obviously quality is really, really critical, but the most important thing for most of the work that we do is speed alongside quality, and being able to tell somebody that we can be there next week, or do a job, or start tomorrow, or within reason move very quickly, gives us that competitive advantage perhaps over others. I think most people have probably got a story about going to a builder and the builder saying, yeah, I'd love to do it, but I can't do it for 6 months. We pride ourselves on our ability to move quickly and get stuff done if people need it done. And in the world that we play in the insurance reinstatement world, that is very critical, and that's why I've built up a team that will align to that. And it is a constantly evolving game though, in terms of building your trusted sub-trade network, but you learn over time what works and what doesn't, and we're here today, and that'll continue to change. So there's plenty of advice that I could share with potential franchisees. In no particular order, but one of the most critical things I believe is having the confidence to invest in your business upfront from essentially day one. Naturally, if you're going into a business, you don't want to move to employing staff immediately, and my advice is not to employ somebody on day one, but very quickly, I believe it's important that you get the right resources within your business to be able to move quick for customers. Otherwise, you're going to be standing still, or at least moving very slowly for a long time trying to get started. So from my experience, I knew that if I could employ a builder or an experienced handyman very quickly, it meant that I could move quickly and get cash coming through the business and work coming through the business quickly. And I did that and it worked. It was a risk, and I knew that even if I had employed somebody and there was no work coming in the door, I was going to have to pay them, but I was prepared to. I calculated the amount that would cost me each week, and I was prepared to do that to grow my business, and it has worked out well for me. The other advice that I'd love to give to potential franchisees is actually, it can be nervous going from the corporate world or whatever world you might be in right now, whether it's corporate or otherwise, but I know many people are in the corporate world thinking about starting their own business, is don't think about what could go wrong. It is important to consider that, but don't be held back by the risks or the things that you think that could go wrong, but actually be optimistic about what could go right. And there are so many benefits of running your own business. For me, I've got 4 kids and I've got the ability to pick and choose when I work. It feels like I probably work far more than I should, but I've still got the ability to take a day off here or there when I need to. I can pick up my kids from school, I can take them to sports practice. It's all on me, and I can make those decisions. I don't need to check with anyone, so I love that. And for somebody who's considering getting into a franchise, that is a real benefit of running your own business. The other fantastic thing is that a lot of the amazing work and the leads and the referrals that I've got over the last couple of years as my business has grown has come through the really strong franchise network that we have. And I feel really supported by our franchise head office, and they've opened huge numbers of doors, and I know that my business wouldn't be nowhere near where it was without a lot of the doors that have been opened by the franchise. So from that perspective, moving into a new business can be really daunting, but there's a huge amount of support. The other aspect of that support as well is other franchisees have really got in together. We work closely together and help each other where we can, and we can share that information, share those learnings. I hope that I can do that for other people, and I certainly had that when I started in particular. And having a franchise network like that where everybody genuinely wants everybody else to succeed, there's no territorial behaviour going on, we all genuinely just want each other to succeed, is great. Supported by a head office who does open a lot of doors for us from a sales perspective. So although it is a new business, you're not doing it alone. It will feel like you're doing it alone a little bit at times, but really there's a huge amount of support that you don't get if you're not a part of a franchise network. So I think to wrap that up would be, yes, there are risks of going into business, but at the same time there are so many upsides. And if you really work through each of those risks individually, you'll work out that actually they're all very easy or easy-ish to mitigate. And there are a huge number of positives, and do your due diligence and look at what those risks are. But I think take inspiration from all of the other franchises that have done really well, and you would see that it is a really great way of not just running your business, but actually running your life and a new career for you and your family.